What is this thing I found at an antique festival near Atlanta? About 17 inches by 5.5 inches. It has a wooden crank handle, and the body is all cast iron. It looks like an old clothes press for drying clothes back in the day. Any ideas? It's a newspaper log roller from the 1940s. It's for taking newspapers and rolling them tightly into a log shape, used to start a fire easily. I remember making some when I was a kid, and you dip the newspapers in water, then roll them tightly, then let them dry thoroughly. This gives you the heavy dense logs that burn longer. What is this thing in a dentist's office? The style suggests a very early 20th century. It has a foot treadle with an offset crank system and a cast iron wheel with a very long looped cord. It's a near copy of the foot-powered design of the early sewing machines. The staff don't know what exactly it is. Any ideas? It's a late 19th century treadle-powered dental drill. This was in common use by dentists from the 1870s into the 1920s. When electricity became accessible to most communities, the electrically powered dental engines began to take over from the treadle power. Over the centuries, dentistry has been performed by priests, monks, and other healers. This was followed by barbers. The barber's chair may well have been the precursor to the dental chair. What is this coin I found with a metal detector in southern England? It was found 2 to 3 inches deep in a woodland. It's probably gold, and it's got 1878 on it. Due to where it was found, this was probably betting money. Any ideas? It's an 1878 gold sovereign. It's a British gold coin with a nominal value of £1 sterling and contains 0.23 troy ounces of pure gold. It was originally a circulating coin that was accepted in Britain and elsewhere in the world since 1817. Like most gold and silver coins, the sovereign was gradually withdrawn during the First World War. Their precious metal content was used by the government to fund trade in support of the war effort. Circulating coins were gradually switched to cheaper metals, and the sovereign was replaced by paper £1 notes. I found this old wooden box tucked away in a hidden corner in my grandfather's old things in George, South Africa. My grandfather was 95 and passed away earlier this year. He was a missionary doctor in Old Rhodesia for many years, then worked for the George State Hospital. His father was a doctor. His uncle may have been a pharmacist. Grandma knows nothing about the item. I would love to find out more about the box and the date it could have been used. Thanks in advance. That's a 19th century traveling apothecary chest, made in England circa 1810. In the early part of the 1800s, there were no drug stores, and a household would typically have to administer medications that were available to the servants or other members of the family. These drugs can be extremely hazardous to your health, given the era from which these medical items originate. It is not uncommon for them to contain cocaine, morphine, or other Class 1 narcotics in illegal quantities, as well as other cardiac stimulants. The sliding door in the back of the cabinet is a hidden poison compartment. Be very cautious about even cleaning the kit, as the dust may in fact be a potent or potentially fatal drug. What is this thing I found in my great-grandfather's stuff? He was a French mathematician during World War II. So this must be related to his job. It's made of aluminum probably, with flat sticks and some random letters on them. What could this be? It's a secret transposition cipher, a manual cryptographic device developed around 1912 in Paris, France. At the time, it was advertised as a method for secret writing when sending radio telegrams. What is this thing I found at a flea market in Russia? It's about 6 by 7 inches and weighs about 5 pounds. And it looks very old. It's a sculpture of 2 babies that are attached by the stomach and chest. The seller said it's a good luck Chinese figurine. How old do you think it is? And is it really for good luck? This is a Chinese folk toy called For Happiness from the 18th to the 19th century. It is believed to have begun during the Ming Dynasty, from 1368 to 1644. It symbolizes 4 happiness joined together, which basically were the joy of long-awaited rain after a drought, the joy of the first wedding night, the joy of passing exams, and the joy of meeting an old friend. These instances are all considered to be among life's major fortunes in ancient China. I saw this thing in my local thrift store. The saleswoman said that this device is about 100 years old. It's made of cast iron and steel, weighs 4 pounds, and measures roughly 4.5 by 6 by 5.5 inches. It has numbers 0 to 9, a dollar sign, and a star. What is it used for? It's a late 19th century check protector, a machine for printing amounts on checks by perforations so as to prevent alterations. After signing the check, the owner could perforate the amount on the check itself in addition to what was written. It was designed by Gustav Sittman and Walter H. Pitt and submitted an application for patent in September 1893. It was priced for $5 in 1896. What is this, some form of clock or timing device? It looks like there are components missing inside, and below the clock face there looks like the winder. I cannot see any lettering or numbers on any component. It measures 12 centimeters across the front, and the depth is 6 centimeters. This could just be the internals of a clock, but if anybody has any info on make or age, it would be appreciated. It's a night watchman's clock or a guardsman's clock, made by the American Watchman's Time Detector Company in New York City. These were made virtually unchanged from the 20s through like the late 80s. I used one of these as a security guard in Charlotte in '71. It has a paper tape inside that moves with the clock. As you patrol the facility, there are keys on chains on the wall that you insert and turn. They punch the tape and mark your location at specific times, which both gave an accounting of when things may have happened and verified that we weren't sleeping on the job. I bought this at a flea market in Denmark. It's about 75 centimeters long and is made entirely out of brass. It weighs about 10 kilograms, and the cylinder can rotate about the frame. I have absolutely no clue as to what it can be used for. I asked some people, and they said they have absolutely no idea either. What is this thing? It's an Ekman reversing water bottle. It's a seawater temperature sample device used for oceanographic research in the early years of the 1900s. Designed by Van Walfrid Ekman in Christiania, Norway in 1910. The cylinder is dropped at the desired depth, and the trapdoor below is opened to let the water enter, and then close tightly. This can be repeated at different depths, as each sample goes to a different chamber of the insulated bottle. What is this hardwood lockable box that's been in the family for decades? The size is just over a foot on each side. This is a hardwood box, apparently mahogany, that has been used to store toy cars since at least the late 70s. It was given to us originally by a friend who worked in a munitions factory during World War II. I was told it was used in the Royal Navy destroyer in the war. Inside the lid is a wiring diagram. I always assumed it was for a flare gun, but I'm not certain, of course, hence this post. Any idea what is it for? Please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.